Wow, it's low, is that? I managed to find the new Benelli. Had a 502 for a season. There was some lads say, do you want to go to Scotland? And I only had a dirt bike, or a couple of dirt bikes, and long story short, 2 days later I landed a 502 off eBay for £3,500. I knew it was 46 horsepower, and to be honest, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I ran it for a full season, did about 9,000 miles on it, and nothing fell off, nothing went wrong. It rode quite nicely, and for the money you pay, it was just impossible really to knock it. So been running the Versys for well, it's the third year now, isn't it? And the 502 is now become a 702, and I thought, I'll give it a whirl. It's a similar kind of engine, I think. It's 70 something horsepower, 70-ish. And a little bit more torque, I think, according to the stats, but nothing noticeable at the moment. And I haven't got long on it, just half an hour. They have these big beefy, 50mm forks on. No adjustment. Just at the moment, this is the road going one. It's the X really that I was more interested in. It's very low for me. In these kind of tucked up, so the foot pegs to the seats are it's pretty cramped for me, but to be fair, I only have 6'1" and 16.5 stone. A little bit cramped. Bars are lovely, and the suspension, just like the 502, is a little bit better than you might think. I mean, the fuel in these built-up areas is very well behaved. 26 mile an hour into fourth, and it's no trouble at all. More flexible than the Versys. It feels a very similar engine though. It's kind of lazy, sort of lower down, but that's easy enough to live with. The screen's way too short. The 502 had a much better screen arrangement, so I don't know what the thinking is with that. I mean, if you're 4'3", it'd be fine, but I'm sure that's a pretty easy fix. Probably the Italian aftermarket are already on it. But it's a Feels reasonably well damped on these potholes. On the firmer side, but it's not crashy. Hard to say. I mean, I've only been on it a couple of miles, 30 mile an hour limits. Dashboard's quite nice, similar size to the Kawasaki. I don't know, is it a 5-inch? It's clear enough, nice enough to read. The fuel gauge is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, well, that's a little bit crashy. So not a lot to say really in the 30 mile an hour limit. It's corners nicely from what you can see. There's a little bit more room to move around here. Probably hear the wind. I think I need to be down there somewhere. I think the screen will work alright if it was big enough. But engine's nice and lazy. It's let's have a quick look. Around about similar to the Versys, about 5,000 revs at 70, and I just like the value of them. I mean, full panniers, aluminium panniers, which you may like them, you may not like them, but 3-box system. And the bike itself, I think this is £6,500. And it's difficult, full dress Versys, the GT would be around 10,000, wouldn't it? So £3,500. It's engine's pleasant. Yeah, the engine's pleasant enough. There's no glitches. Suspension is a bit sudden, abrupt in places now that I'm getting to grips with it. It's not as good as what I'm riding, which is important to me. But just like the 502, it's incredible value for money. I mean, the only thing with it, the impression is that they're obviously trying to cater for everybody, but if you're tall, my knees are pretty high up, pretty tucked up. It's alright, it's a good engine. Nicely screwed together. I quite impressed in some ways. They've got these daft illuminated dials. I mean, it's all a bit gimmicky, is that? But this front suspension is overdamped. I'll just try a top gear roll on, 60, call it 55 mile an hour. It should have been in fifth really, but it's reasonably enough, is that. And the front brakes I think are the same as the 502. They look identical. And what I found is that they're actually quite powerful if you give it a handful. But they haven't got anywhere near, you know, the same finesse as a Nissan or a Brembo or whatever. But you know, them on the versys, you know, I'd give a 9 out of 10. I mean, these are, you know, based mainly on touch and feel. You know, you give them a 6 out of 10. On power, I'd give them a little bit more, you know, because I know, you know, once they're bedded in, which these aren't, that no, they will stop. Yeah, certainly handles quite nicely. It's just got that little bit more, pull, you know, than the 502. But it's certainly no quicker than the Kawasaki. It doesn't feel any more torquey. And there's just that little bit of, little tiny bit of, you know, roughness. Little tiny bit of roughness through the bars and the pegs. Cruising quite effortlessly at 80 mile an hour. 5,800 revs, something like that. I'd imagine this would top out 120 mile an hour, something like that. Don't know. Not that I'm bothered about it. But yeah, it's got a little bit of vibe going to it. And of course, this screen isn't helping, as you can probably hear. I need to be. Screen would need to be up here somewhere. whether the aftermarket does that or not. But you know, it's difficult to knock. You know, fully dressed tourer, 3 panniers, you know, unlimited warranty for mileage wise, 6.5. I mean, it'll cruise effortlessly, probably at 90 mile an hour, I'd imagine. Very stable. As I say, I've only got very short ride on it, so I just wanted to try it after the 502. Just a little tingle through the bars. It's not terrible, but it's noticeable. And how you'd feel about it after 2 hours, I don't know. But yeah, nice engine braking like the parallel twins have, and gearbox is well spaced, pretty slick, pretty precise, and the feeling's nice. Clutch slips out quite nicely, and it's a pretty well behaved bike, to be honest. It's easy to ride, good manners, reasonable power, and would I buy it? I think I prefer my Kawasaki at the moment. One of the deal breakers on this particular model, which is the Road one, is that it's just a wee bit cramped in the leg department. And comfort is something that's important. Not sure if the X version is a higher seat, but yeah, I mean the brakes, you know, they will just like the 502 stop you. They're not bad. They're just a little bit I can't really put they're not got, you know, the finesse of some of the other systems. But you know, it's hard to knock. 6.5 grand. Some of the colours I don't really like, but that's beside the point. I mean, probably the white one would do me, Captain Conservative. Would I never buy one? I don't know, I might come round to having a go at one. It's not a bad motorcycle for sure. Bit of a lumpy sort of tick over with it. Feels like a Boxer twin. But you know, for the £6.5 there's not a lot to dislike. I mean, it's you know, we're in the budget category here, aren't you? You know, on previous experience with these, I mean, the frame, the braking system, the forks, can't see the rear shock, but they look identical to the 502. So basically, if you've had a 502, expect more of the same, except obviously you've got a more torquey engine. Yeah, it's a difficult one. The thing is, they just offered me 6.5 for mine. It's only 10 months old. Sorry, 5.5. But you know, that's dealers for you. But it'd be 1,500 quid to swap, which is never going to break most people's banks, is it? I just got to sit here because, you know, not used to the bike, so no cheeky gaps today. It should go a fair way. It's got a 20-litre tank, so kind of sounds quite nice. We're on our way to the Beamish Trial in Northumberland. That's where we're going. A bloke rang me up this morning saying he had the 702 in, and I don't know what to expect. A little bit disappointed in it in some ways, because when you look in detail, it's a 502 with a 700cc motor crammed in it. They haven't really upped the game in the suspension or brakes department, and in fairness to them, you know, the price isn't that much more. I'm presuming they may keep a few 502s for the A2 licence category, but the value's there. I think, you know, at the moment they've got the Versys on, you know, in that dealership, £1,000 off, 6,999, and then they've got the 702X in at 6,899 with luggage. And I'd be inclined to take the Versys and sort out a luggage solution later on. That was it. It's a nice bike in a lot of ways, and believe you me, if I thought it was worth a swap, I'd have swapped it, because I've had a 502 a few years ago. The WhatsApp group decided they're going to go to Scotland, and I only had the CRFs, so I long story short, 2 days later The 502 off eBay for 3,650 quid or something. Full luggage, easy grips, rather. And bearing in mind the price, and it's a 46 horsepower bike, I thought it did pretty well. I did about 9,000 miles on it. Nothing broke, nothing fell off. Everything worked fine, and only changed the oil. Didn't do anything fancy to it, so I'm not frightened of having a go at the Benelli brand after that. I thought it was pretty decent. I just think they needed to just move the componentry up a little bit, the braking componentry and the suspension valving needed attention on the 502, and as far as I can see, they're identical, the forks, nothing's changed. I'd have preferred them to add a little bit more to the package, charge a bit more maybe, because overall there's some value in there, but sadly, it's a little bit unfair to compare, because I've had the suspension upgraded on this, but the suspension standard is better on the versys. And the seat height, of course, in fairness again, I've raised the seat here 2.5, maybe 3 inches. So it's quite a big contrast, when you get off something that's, you've tailored to fit you, to something that obviously isn't. So that's something that could be worked on. You can solve these things. But overall, I find it difficult to walk past another versys to take the 502, 702. Of course, the versys hasn't got the funky sort of pseudo off-road looks. But trust me, I've ridden that suspension on some rough tracks, around Otterburn and Kielder and Galloway when I had that 502, and no matter what these guys in the videos are saying, just ignore them. It's not up to it. It's simple as that. Really isn't particularly good in any sort of rough road situation. Yeah, alright, you go round Kielder on it, just like you could on this. I've done it on this. Pirelli, not Pirelli, Michelin pilots on it. And yeah, it's all doable. So I'll be staying with the versys. Well, the engine was a little bit as the revs raised, it was just a little bit unsophisticated, if you like. I don't think it's any slower or any faster than the versys, but what they haven't done very well is insulate the vibrations from the rider. There is a tingle there, and although it's not mind-blowingly bad, I think it could be pretty annoying um, over the course of a day. I mean, this little bike now is really set up nice on the road now with this rear shock and improvements. So at the moment I don't think we'll be moving towards the Ben and the Ellie. What I found with the 502 is that it was looked after okay, and when I came to hawk it round, if you like, trying to do a deal, a Honda at Blackpool, I mean, they offered me 2,500 quid for a bike that was 14 months old with 9,500 clock, you know. Now if I bought it new, I'd be squealing like a stuck pig, but this suspension really is working nicely on this bike. I mean, it's not electronic O-wings or anything, but it's not bloody half bad. Soaks up this stuff nice. Yeah, that was the difficulty. The depreciation was fierce. So that led you to think like, well, okay, if 502 depreciates quickly, maybe the 702 will. You know, you can pick up you know, one that's 12 months old, you know, for £4.5 grand. And I think that was just stonking by, isn't it? They tend to be bought by suppose more budget conscious people, and there's a lot of bike in that 702 for a second-hand buyer, I think, and wouldn't do any harm to just leave it a year and see if any faults turn up. To be honest, I doubt it. Firm behind it, it's you know, they're a huge firm. They're making engines for BMW and those kind of people. So if BMW are going to put a badge on it, you would have thought they'd try and at least match that kind of quality to put their own badge on it, which I think you do, to be fair. Yeah, typical autumn day now. The forecast is that the further north I get, the more rain I'm going to get. So it's a bit patchy, and looks like we might get some leafy surprise. Just starting to fall properly now, aren't they? It's such an easy bloody thing to live with this. It's you have to work it a little bit harder on these hilly things because I've got the touring gears on, so but there's no trouble getting about. It's a pretty undemanding kind of bike to ride. And I don't know what I've got today, depends on the weather really. I would say if the weather holds, I should be another 180, 200 mile the way I'm thinking. It's just coming up to midday, and if it closes in and pisses down, I'll have to go the direct route. I could probably be there in 2.5 hours from here, I suppose. But I'm budgeting for near a 4 or 5 with a bit of dinner. Yeah, I mean the old quick as fucky is, you know, a pleasant bike, you know, to chuck around, to be honest. Smooth, capable. It's a bloody nuisance. Just can't quite see enough. So yeah, we're heading up towards Kirby Lonsdale to try and get a brew. Better take it easy here. There's suicide sheep everywhere. So we won't be bothering trading in at the moment.